Hey there, it's Carrie Bradford, and I'm just here today to show you a quick little did you know that tip. When you're using your move tool, when you're using your arrow and your shift arrow to move things, where you are zoomed in on the screen affects just how much the arrow or shift arrow moves your shape. For example, let's go ahead, I'm just going to draw a square, and then I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to use my shift and my right arrow twice just to move it over, and you can see there's quite the little gap there. Now if I zoom in and I copy this, and I'm just going to go ahead and press Control C and Control F, and I'm just going to move it down just for the time being. Now if I duplicate it right and press my shift and the right arrow key, you can see I pressed it twice up here and I pressed it twice down here. And the amount of space between each one is a significant difference. If I were to zoom in even more, this would be even less of a space. And the same holds true for when you're dealing with your editing points. So if I double click on this here, press my shift, right arrow key twice, and then if I zoom in, double click here, press shift and my right arrow key twice, you can see just how much of a difference that is. So this kind of makes an impact on things when you're maybe following along with a class or a tutorial, that it may work a little different depending on where this is zoomed. And I'm sure I knew this at one time, because somewhere in the dark recesses of my mind, it's familiar to me that I knew this, but I just recently went, oh yeah, that happens. And so when you're following along with tutorials with me or with anyone, depending on where you are zoomed in on your screen can affect the outcome of how you're moving it. Because a lot of times I'll say, yeah, just hit your shift and the right arrow key a couple of times, or just use your arrow key and move it a couple of times. Well, if you've zoomed in more and I'm zoomed out, your result is going to look different than mine. So I just thought I'd point that out as one of those things to watch out for and maybe be aware of as you're going through different tutorials, whether it's from Carrie Bradford Studio or from anyone else, that can make a difference. Okay, thus endeth today's little Did You Know lesson.